Hi guys, and welcome to another video with me, Shira Star Hobby. There's a story behind this package. So I I absolutely adore handmade polymer clay sculpts, like my unboxing that I did before of my cute little snail guy. So a lot of people in the doll community just kind of focus on these one-of-a-kind handmade little sculptures, and of course they add fabric to them for clothing. You know, they add wings to them to make them fairies, they add mermaid scales and fins to make them mermaids, hair, some, you know, use the glass eyes in them. And I have fallen in love with this particular artist. Now, I didn't really know what her name was. I really didn't know how to find her shop or her sales or things like that. Now, when I first began in the BJD hobby, there was an artist that I really liked. She was an Australian artist. Her name is Carrie Ann Sawyer, and she has her own, you know, like her own company, I guess. You know, she's an independent artist, and she makes a lot of one-of-a-kind polymer clay dolls, but then she also sculpted some dolls and had them molded and had them poured in resin. I always wanted one. I never got one. I love the fantasy aspect and how whimsical her dolls are. But anyway, so I followed her on Instagram, and I was just going through scrolling. I was watching people's stories, and her story popped up, and she was sharing a photo of one of those sculpts of that artist that I fell in love with so many years ago. And it turns out that she's her daughter. So I was just like, wait, what? So I was like, she's your daughter? I said, I have been looking for this artist for years. Because I'm pretty sure I saw some of her work on Facebook at one point, and it led me to an Etsy shop, and I completely forgot about her Etsy shop. So when I went there to look, that is what I saw, was those little mushroom sculptures that I first fell in love with. So, to make a long story short, I am now following both mother and daughter. And the daughter's name is Celia Ann Harris, which I think is cute that the mother named her the same middle name. So it's Carrie Ann and Celia Ann. And they're both super mega talented. The daughter does not, at least not yet, she hasn't sculpted a BJD in resin. I think she prefers the polymer clay medium. And her one-of-a-kind sculptures are incredible. And they range from a price range, you know, in like the 90 to 100 all the way up to like 400. It just depends on how much work, you know, she puts into one sculpture. She has a website, which I will put in here. And I believe she's got 2 one-of-a-kind sculptures on there that are just, I mean, I am like so tempted, but I just don't have the funds. So anyway, when I became aware of who she was and I started following her more frequently and just kind of watching you know, to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And every time she posted something, I was always like right there. She had posted 2 fairies that she had sculpted. And one of them was like pale with blonde hair, and she was like in a bunch of different blues. And then the other one that she posted was dark skinned with some purple. So you know which one I picked, right? And so I reached out to her and I was like, is the darker skinned one still available? And she said yes. And so, you know, now she's here. She is here. Australia Post. She is here. And now I thought she was lost for a little bit because her tracking had said that she was going to be delivered like last week. And well, she didn't show up, but she's here now. So let's get her open because I have been waiting for years, literal years, for one of her sculpts. So let's, oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Now, she did a really good job in packing her because I don't think she's like that big, but that is okay. So, yes, I love bubble wrap. I could go, oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Now, of course, she will be, because she's like in a permanent display position, she will be on display in my treehouse. OMG. Look at her. Oh my gosh, you guys. She is absolutely perfect. And look at how small she is. I mean, she is the perfect little fairy that can be on display in Trifari's treehouse, and it will make the scene even more magical than I ever anticipated. So the artist is Celia Ann Harris. Her Facebook page is called The Fantasy Dolls of Celia Harris. And then her Instagram handle is at Celia Ann Harris. So it's, it's pretty basic, as far as her name doesn't differ too much. So you'll be able to find her on her social media. She is, Australian from New South Wales. And she sculpts everything from scratch, from polymer clay, She likes to do a lot of these hand-dyed fabrics. And of course, she uses all kinds of tiny flowers. She uses iridescent beads. And I know Allison's favorite word to attempt to say is Swarovski crystal rhinestones. So she is like head to toe perfection. And the way that, and she also uses like natural, bits and pieces from like the woods and things. Cause I'm pretty sure this is, her little hat is from the woods of, I don't know what it is, what it was. But you can see how she's made in a position where she can lay on on a flat surface. All hand painted, absolutely stunning. And I have been collecting photos of her works, my favorites, because I mean, she's really amazing, and she does custom orders as well. If you follow her, if you end up following her after this video and you go to her Instagram, and you can see all of her works, and if she will work with you on commissions and things like that. But guys, I'm just, I am so freaking excited because I have been waiting for years to have one of her creations in my collection, and it has become a reality. Now on Etsy, she only has, I believe, at least the last time I looked, she only had 3 listings, and they were for custom orders in a similar fashion to the dolls in the pictures, but there weren't going to be the exact dolls in the pictures. They were just a reference point because she does sculpt each one from scratch. There's no molds made. So if you wanted to, get something that you have basically an idea of what it will look like when it's finished, then you can go ahead and, use her Etsy shop. She does have a website, like I said, with some one-of-a-kind sculpts on there that are on the bigger end. And of course, they're on the pricier end, and which is why I have yet to buy one, because I just don't have the funds right now. I really would love to add one of her bigger sculptures to my collection at some point, I will be happy with more little ones like these that I can display just everywhere, like in little nooks and crannies, that so that the, you know, when I do photograph my treehouse eventually when it's finished, and these little ones are just kind of hanging out in the background, it's just gonna be so epic. Not to mention, you know, Trifari can probably even hold them, and or other dolls, you know, can hold them in their hands like they're, you know, sweet little sleeping fairy babies. And I just love everything about her. I love every single thing about her. So, you know, check her out, you guys. I mean, she is a true treasure in the polymer clay sculpting world. And like I said, I hope to add more of her figures to my collection for sure. I have been dreaming of owning some of her little mushroom babies. She's got some bigger girls that she does. She did a really cool one where it had like the torso, the body, and the like the torso, the head, the arms of a human, but the rest of her body was a snail shell. And then she actually had a tiny little baby fairy riding on the snail shell. Like it's just it's just so magically fantastical that it just makes you feel like you are in another realm when you look through her photos. And I can't even say enough about her. So please go follow her, go check out her work. You know, and even if you don't purchase anything, it still helps, you know, to have those followers and to have her work shared. It's so important to support artists who aren't necessarily making dolls, but are still, you know, putting their artwork out there. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed her and all the photos that I have put in this video, because I'm going to try to put a lot of photos for your viewing pleasure. And I will show photos of her in the treehouse so far. So that will be cool. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.